Hey guys, how's it going? Previously on the channel, we have been working on this 1969 Cub Cadet 105. I've had this tractor now roughly 2 years. I have had a problem with the engine for pretty much the entire time I've owned it now. Basically, it does not start. It runs, and it runs really good, but it is an absolute ungodly pain in the ass to get it to start. Previously on the channel, we pulled it out of the tractor. We tore the engine down. I ended up, not necessarily, well, I put new gaskets in it, put it back together. I also made sure the engine was timed correctly, which it was when I put it together. I have a suspicion as to what the problem is with it, and I'll go over it here in a bit. We got the engine put back together in the previous video that you guys saw. We got it to start up while the engine was sitting on the bench, and after we took it off the bench and stuck it back in the tractor, it basically went back to how it used to be before I pulled the engine apart and put new gaskets in it and retimed it, and it had a hard time starting. I have a suspicion as to what it is. Well, I've actually said it before, I think. I think the camshaft possibly is wore out. I also have a new suspicion because we pulled the ignition off of it and tried to get it to start that way, and it seemed like it wanted it. Well, it had the exact same problem, where when we had it sitting up on the bench, it had no problem. Here's what I'm wondering. I'm wondering if, for whatever reason, the engine is not able to start under a load. The hydro, I cannot disengage it. Let me rephrase that. There's no clutch. I can't disengage the hydro and have the engine just turn by itself like I wish I could, like how on the 140s you can. So what I'm wondering if the hydro is putting a load on the engine, enough of a load that it's having a rough time, taking off on its own, which I wouldn't think that's the case, but I guess you never know. That or the camshaft could be wore out, which is what I'm starting to believe it is. So, again, I'm not sure. That's kind of what I'm thinking at the moment right now. So what I think I want to do is I want to pull the engine back out of the tractor again. And I want to set it down on the floor, probably not up on a table, set it down on the floor, put studs back in it like how I had it set up before when I went to crank it, and see if we can get the engine to start. And if it'll start, that'll answer my question as to if the hydro is putting enough of a load on the engine, it's to the point where it's not going to start. Which, if that's the case, we need to figure out why it is not wanting to start, or how is it possible that it's putting enough of a load on that engine for it not to start, which I have a suspicion as to what it could be, but I seriously doubt it, because the generator is able to spin the engine over just fine with it hooked up to the transmission. The transmission's in neutral when I try to start it, so there should be absolutely no load on it, from that pump, unless it just, because when the pump is spinning, there's fluid going somewhere, because it's got to pump fluid. It just doesn't go through the valve that drives the rear axle. It just kind of flows through the transmission, through the filter and everywhere else, or through the hydro pump, through the filter and everywhere else. So that's kind of what I'm wondering, if maybe just that pump running is the cause of it, which if that's the case, then we're going to have to figure out some kind of clutch or something to stop the hydro from spinning. Or another idea that I had is maybe we can take this engine out of this tractor, put it in something else, since we know we have a good engine. What to do with the tractor, I'm not sure. I'm probably going to end up sourcing another engine. I have an idea for an engine. I have a good block upstairs, or maybe just look around on Craigslist, or maybe, no, not Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, and just see if I can find a better engine for it. If the engine ends up being like I think it is, then we'll probably just take it and throw it in this 140 that's sitting over there, my 70H3, and we'll probably get that tractor going. So that's probably where we're at for right now. I'm just up in the air what could possibly be it. Another thing that I thought of is maybe it's that generator, but I don't know how it would be the generator causing that problem where it's not wanting to start, because the generator is doing exactly what it's supposed to. It's supposed to be able to start that engine, which it is. So that has me blown away. I'm not exactly sure what the deal is with it, but I guess we'll figure it out. So let's go ahead and get the engine pulled out. I have been dreading this. I really didn't want to do it again. So let's just get the engine pulled out of it. We'll set it down on the floor. There is no oil shut off in here. I haven't put any more oil in it. It's got the same amount it did yesterday. It's gone down a little bit. Oh, there you go. You can see it's got oil in it. It's gone down a little bit, it looks like. So the engine didn't burn oil before it was taken apart, so it shouldn't burn oil now. I wouldn't understand why it would be burning oil right now if that's the case. I did notice it smoke a little bit when we put it back together, when I stuck it back in the tractor. So I don't know. So I didn't notice it in person. However, I noticed it on camera. I didn't smell anything either. So maybe it was just, I don't know. We'll have to keep an eye on it. So I guess let's go on ahead and let's get back into it. I'm going to probably just pull the engine out of it off camera because you guys have seen the engine go in and come out. So, all right. Let me get that done. And after I get that done, I will bring you guys back. So here's what I've done. I pulled the engine out of the tractor. I hooked up the ignition. I have it set up the exact same way as I had it when I had it sitting on the table. So what we're going to do is we're going to see if it'll start. I also adjusted the points and tried to start it back up, as well as a few other things, and it wouldn't start. So we're just going to go on ahead and see if it starts up this way. I didn't pull it out of the tractor before I did either of those things, so I'm not really surprised. So let's see if it starts. If it starts up now, then we know that something is not right. It does have fuel in it, so it should fire up. Ready? Let's see what happens. Okay, so there you go, it starts. So we know the engine's timed right, everything seems fine. So what's causing it not to start when it's in the tractor? That is what I want to know. Why is it not starting? If anybody out there has any ideas, let me know. Here, let's try it again. Let's see if it starts up again. Starts and runs good. It runs really nice, really smooth. I would try throttling it. However, with it running off of my battery charger, I really don't like that. It's probably not good for it. Not good for the charger. What do you guys think? Please leave me a comment down below. This is just, I'm confused. So, all right, guys. Like I said before, I've never had this problem before. I don't know. So, I guess this is going to be one of them videos that just go up like this. So, all right, guys. What do you guys think we should do with it? Let me know if we should try sticking it in something else. That sounded wrong. And to see if it runs then. We know the engine runs, and we know it runs absolutely perfect. There is absolutely nothing that I can think of wrong with this engine. It's got cross thatching, the rings in it are good, it doesn't burn a drop of oil. I've mowed with this engine before, and it spins a mower deck perfectly. It doesn't lose any power. Keep in mind, when I was mowing with it and when I used it, the valves were out of adjustment in it. So, But what do you guys think? Let me know. Leave your comments down below. What do you guys want to see me do with it? I would love to put it back in this tractor. I would love to get this tractor going again. I really like using this machine. I really like having it around here because it pisses off a certain individual that I know, the fact that I have it. So, again, leave your comments down below. Let me know what you guys think. No stupid bullshit comments. Just, be serious with what you guys say, So, all right, guys. Well, I want to thank you for watching, and I guess I'll catch you all in the next video. We didn't really fix anything, but we learned something today. Do you guys think it could possibly be a camshaft problem? I do not know why the engine won't start under a load. I find that to be really interesting. Maybe we have a problem with the transmission? What do you guys think? I mean, it turns. It turns over. I can turn it by hand. It's not easy to turn, but it does turn. So, I wonder if... Let's just look at this points wire real quick. What's that? That's just dirt. That's the only thing that I can think of, but the points wire looks fine. What's this? I felt something. Maybe not. So, I don't see any indication of it poking through. That almost looks like metal. Maybe not. So, I have replaced this wire before. This is a different wire that I put on there, and it still has the exact same problem. So, interesting. Let me think about it. If I think of something, I'll bring you guys back. If I don't, then I don't know. I find that just really interesting. I'm probably going to post a video in one of the Facebook groups I'm in too, as well as on YouTube. All right, guys. Well, I'll catch you all in the next video. Take care, guys. Bye. Okay, so I have thought of something. Here's what I want to do. I want to take the engine and I want to set it back in the frame. Right now, because I got to take the legs out of it. So here's what we're going to do. I set the engine back in the tractor. It's not bolted in or anything. It's just sitting there. You can see that the drive shaft is hooked up to the hub on the engine. It's hooked up to the hub on the engine. We're going to see if we can get this thing to start. If it'll start, then we'll address the issue from there. We're going to use the same ignition system that I have been using with the jumper cables starting the engine and the battery charger as the ignition. So let me get my generator hooked up real fast. And after I get the generator hooked up, we can, where do we want to ground it to? We'll ground it to right here. So let me get that done. Let's see, let me hook up my ignition. Ignition is now on. Let's see if it'll start. Ready? Okay. Why isn't that? Did we lose our ground, or is it this? That might be it. Let's try and get it to ground in a better spot. Let's see what that does. We might end up having to choke it. Ready? All right, it wants to. Let's give it some choke. It has been setting for a few minutes. So let's see what it does. Ready? So we're having the same problem now, as you can see. I wonder what the issue is. I think my battery is starting to die. So let me take a second. We're just gonna hook up here to this battery. And we'll see if this battery should start it. Let me hook my power back up. And let's see what happens. Ready? Yeah, see, it's doing the exact thing it did before. Now I'll bet you we'll pull the engine back out. It'll probably start right up. So here's what I'm wondering. I notice it from the generator. It seems like it's drawing a lot more current, or it's drawing a lot more power to try and spin the engine. It's also spinning a little bit slower. I wonder if something is up with the hydro. Maybe. Although, why would it be? I wouldn't think so. The hydro turns. It's not hard to turn, you know, but why would that be causing it to do that? I'm tempted to grab another engine and drop it in here. The only issue that I can think of at the moment with doing that, actually, well, yeah, the only issue I can think of at the moment is I'd have to swap the flywheel around and a few other things. Or we could just put it in there with the starter if that hub will mount to the other flywheel. I don't know if it would or not. We might have to try that. So that's kind of where I'm at the moment, though. Just trying to, you know, get myself an idea and find out what I want to do, because it's still kind of, still a little bit odd to me. But yeah, as you guys saw, it started when it was out of the tractor, but it won't start now. I bet you I'll pull that engine back some and it'll probably kick right off. We're just about out of the hub now. Let me pull it, set it back in, but not, because I'm not going to be able to pull the engine out if I want it to. I'm at a point now where it's not, it shouldn't catch on that, hopefully. I can't put it down below because I don't want that shaft catching either of these bolts. It should be back far enough though where we should be okay. Hopefully it won't. Let's just click it easily and make sure it doesn't. Yeah, I can already tell how much easier now it's spinning than it was before. Let's see if it starts, and if it starts, I'll run over there and shut it off quick. That way it doesn't hit on our drive shaft. Ready? Yeah, see, that's exactly what I thought it was. So, that was dangerous. We could have caused a lot of damage doing that. Okay, so here is what, I wonder if we were to switch over to this battery, if it would have as much trouble as it did now. Let's find out. The ignition's off, it's not going to start, so we shouldn't have to worry about that. Yeah. It's having an easier time turning it over now. Okay, so what could be the issue with that pump? You know what I wonder? I wonder if it's the fluid that's in that pump. Let's try something. I got another hydro sitting over here. This is the exact same thing. This is a Sunstrand 15U, which is the same pump that Cub has. Yeah, see that one? That one feels like it almost turns about the same. Maybe we should pull this engine back some and find out, see how it turns compared to that engine or compared to that transmission. Back to the point we don't have the engine guiding us. It feels like it turns roughly the same. You know, it doesn't feel like it turns any harder than this other Hydro does. I'll try it, yeah. Actually, that turns easier. The other one turns easier than this one does. I wonder if the fluid in here is the issue. Yeah, that turns a lot harder than that Hydro does over there. So, okay, we just figured something out. Maybe it's a Hydro issue. But what would cause that? Do you think the fluid inside that Hydro would cause that? Or maybe not. Maybe the fluid could be... Why would the fluid cause... Well, that's interesting. So, but yeah, and I do notice that when the engine is turning it over, it has, or the generator's turning it over now, it has a rough time, I noticed. So that could be something. Okay. So that makes me wonder now. It wouldn't be a pump issue, would it? It couldn't be the pump's bad. No. All right, well, we'll have to figure it out. We'll just have to see what's going on with it, I guess. That's definitely an interesting one, though. Yeah, all right, guys, leave your comments down below, I guess, and we'll... Although, why would it have that much trouble trying to start? They should be able to start under a load. I would think they would be able to start under a load. So why is it having so much trouble? I got a couple more Hydros out here I can spin around and see if they spin any easier than that. Let me try them real quick and I'll see what they do and I'll report back. Okay, I am back. The Hydro on the 7140, the one that I was showing you guys earlier, turns easier than this, as well as the Hydro on my other 7140, the one that, well, on my 140, my 71, it turns easy too. So I wonder if we have a Hydro problem. What would be causing this? I have 3 other hydrostats that we could try turning as well. However, they're not exactly in a position at the moment where I can get to them. They all have engines hooked up to them, which would change the results, I'm sure, of how they turn. So what would cause this to turn so hard? It would probably be, I wonder if it would be caused by the fluid that's in it. That could be it. Maybe the fluid in it's the problem. I wonder if it just has something in it that's too, too, what's the word? Too thick. That's what it is. Too thick to be in there. Maybe we could try draining that fluid out and try something different. What do you guys think? Do you guys think we should do that? But how do you fill the transmission on this? Where's the fill at? Is that it right there? Would this be where you fill it? That would just about have to be, wouldn't it? Because that's the top of the transmission. These 2 bolts right here are the last 2 that hold this plate on. Where would the drain be? Is that it right there? No. You don't have to take the... Is that it? No. So you probably have to take this plate off in order to drain it, don't you? Because I can't find a thing. I remember seeing it on I thought I had seen a drain before on here. And I think it was in one of the sides. Interesting. All right, guys. Well, we may have made a discovery today, and I feel kind of stupid for not checking that first. But, oh well, I had some suspicions about this engine, and I'm glad that we got into it and checked it, because we learned quite a bit with this guy. So let's go on in, let's get this plate pulled. It should be this bolt. It should be this right here. I think it's held in by these two bolts. I think we got to take this off in order to get this off. I've had it off before, but I can't remember exactly how it comes out of there. I think if I remember right, this has to come off, but we'll find out. Let's take these two bolts out and let's see if this plate comes off. I think those are 9/16 bolts, if I remember right. Let's find out. Yep, they are. And these ones, at least, are a little bit loose. Bear with me. My smart ass will eventually realize I need a pan underneath of here. Another friend of mine told me, I find it funny how all my friends are older than I am. Yeah, see that? I figured that would happen. That's all you need in order to loosen that plate. Ooh. Another friend of mine said it's possible that the rear end could be going bad. He said that's the only reason why the hydro would be stiff like it is more than likely it's going bad, which is in the back of my mind, but hopefully, hopefully that's not the case, and maybe we'll get lucky. There's my pan. And we'll find out it's just the fluid. But like I said, it's supposed to be a 10 weight. It might have gone thicker than that over the years. I guess sometimes they do tend to get a little bit thicker as time goes. Sometimes they get thinner, sometimes they get thicker. Yeah, that one's got a little bit of fluid on it. Probably once we get down to the bottom. If I was thinking, I probably would have took the bottom bolts out first and then worked my way up. That sounds smart. Let's just stick these back in. Not all the way, but just enough. I smell it. It's not leaking yet. I need to get better at staying out of the way of the camera, I've noticed. So I apologize to all of you. Let's get this. I think this is the last bolt. I think there's just 3 more underneath. There's one, because that's one that holds on this hitch. I think this hitch is on here upside down also. I might, oh no. I might end up, why is this one so tight? Oh shit. I might want to grab a 6-point socket instead of a 12. Grab myself a 9/16 6-point, and I also have a breaker bar. Let's go on ahead and let's just see what we get. Ready? I might need an extension. Oh, there it goes. It loosened. Well, I felt it spin. I don't know if it really did or not. I need that pan to be out of my way in order to... There we go. Oh, look at that. It does cool. Yeah, that one's going to be a rough one to get turning. It seems. Let's grab our 6-point, or 12-point, I mean, with an extension. There we go. Cool. I'm just glad we're able to get this out of here. I still don't see anything leaking. I don't see any fluid on that. Where's the other bolt? It's right here. This one's probably gonna... Oh, look at that. I guess you can't flip it around. Okay, so this thing is really stuck on there more than likely. If it has not, I probably don't want that falling in there. Have we loosened this one yet? I think we did. Yeah, we did. Okay, so this is going to be one of them situations where it's going to come pouring out, isn't it? Because that is not loose. So we're going to have to order a pan, it appears, or a gasket. I was hoping to save this gasket, but I guess not. Let's grab a flathead screwdriver. Let's see if we can get this thing to come loose. I just grabbed myself a screwdriver. There it goes. We get the bottom of it to break free also. I wonder if we have any fluid in there. We should if it's driving around. I'm surprised the top of it. Yeah, we're gonna have to take these looser. I'm surprised the top of it came free, but not the bottom. I also, yeah, see, oh, there it goes. It's got ATF in it, it looks like. Yeah, somebody put ATF in it. I already can tell. It doesn't feel all that thick. You never know. I guess it could be. Let's just pop these a little bit further out. If we can get it to lose all of its fluid. Yeah, I don't know if it's the pump that's the problem or if it's maybe something back here. I do see there's not a lot of fluid in there. It's not, you know, coming out as quick as I would think it would. Let's just go on ahead and take this out. There it goes. Yeah, now we're getting a more significant flow out of it. I'm trying to be careful. I don't want to, there we go. I don't want to rip it off and have it, yeah, there's not really a whole lot in there. There's the inside. There you go. There's your bowl gear, your differential, whatever you want to call it. That looks fairly clean. It didn't look nearly as rough as I was expecting it to look. Yeah, that fluid's not all that hard. Okay, so I wonder if it's not the fluid. Yeah, and then up in there is your gear that turns the hydro, or that turns the thing from the pump. Let me wipe off mine. Let's take a peek. That's inside. You can see how clean it looks. And up there's your drive gear for the pump. And then down here. It looks really good in there. I mean, up top it looks kind of sad. We'll have to clean that out. And then up here's your drive for the pump that I was telling you about for your rear PTO. But yeah, looks good in there. I was told it holds about 8 quarts, 7 or 8. I think it was 7. All right, so we'll let that drain out. And then I want to try to crank it over, or not crank it over. I want to try to spin it a little bit tomorrow, and I want to see if that helps anything at all. So I guess I'll bring you guys back here, I don't know, maybe tomorrow. So I have a suspicion now, and I'm starting to wonder this. When I bought this tractor, I bought it for $100, 150, I think. No, it was 100, and I also traded something off for it, I believe. I have a suspicion, more or less a theory. I am starting to wonder. Previously, we addressed the engine is a 12 horse, as far as I know. Judging by the block and judging by the tins. So I'm starting to wonder if maybe the old engine that was in this tractor, there was nothing wrong with it. I wonder if they took the 10 horse out and they swapped this 12 horse into it because they were having problems with the 10 horse. Maybe, you know, it was doing the exact same thing this 12 horse is doing. So they pulled the 10 horse out. I don't know what they did with it, but they probably stuck this engine in it. And this engine was probably a brand new engine at the time, that or it was rebuilt. And they stuck it in here and they tried to start it, but it, you know, had the problem that we're having with it. So this is kind of a theory. I wonder if, although it couldn't have been brand new, somebody had to have been into it because they put the valves in back, or the tappets in backwards. I wonder if the engine that was in here before was pulled out because maybe, you know, like I said before, possibly it was having this issue. So they put this engine in it. This engine has that issue. So they probably pulled it apart, rebuilt it, honed out the cylinder, put new rings in it, and probably did a few other things, as well as managed to put the tappets in wrong, which isn't that hard, I guess. And they never adjusted the valves either. That or they could have had the wrong adjustments, that too. So they stuck the engine back in it. The engine probably wouldn't start. So they said, forget it, and they put it off to the side and probably just parked it. So then they sold it, and I ended up with it. And then that's probably the story on this tractor and what happened. That's my thought. I have the fluid draining out of it. I have tried turning the pump. I'm not turning it fast. I'm not turning it long. I don't want an air bubble in my pump. But I am turning it, and I am noticing that it is not turning easier. It might turn easier now. It's been sitting longer. Well, it feels like it turns a little bit easier, but not much. So I'm wondering if maybe we have an issue, maybe something further in. Maybe we're going to end up having to pull that pump apart, which I really don't want to. So that's where I'm at for now. I'm going to let this thing drain overnight. I'm probably going to end up jacking up the side of it. That way the fluid flows out of it better. Maybe, maybe not. I guess we'll see. It just depends on how things go. So we'll leave it be. I'm going to clean up the bolts. I'm going to clean up the gasket surface. And I'm probably going to run a tap through each one of those holes just to get the bolt holes all tapped out and ready for new bolts to go in, or the bolts that were in it before to go back in it. So that's where I'm at. I'll bring you guys back here in a bit. Okay, so we're getting back into this Cub. I've learned some stuff. It's actually been a couple days just gathering some stuff up about this machine and just other things around the house that needed to be done. I lost interest in it. Getting back into it, some stuff I learned, I posted in a group that I am in on Facebook. They said this cover, even though it looks like it does not come off. If you want to access the valves on top of your pump, you have to cut into this cover, which I'm not a huge fan of and I really don't want to do, so we're not going to cut into the top of it. I got to put the screws back in and the bolts back in underneath. I've got the dash tower loose, but this isn't loose. I was kind of surprised. So in order to get the pump out, or the hydro out, as far as I know, it's 3 bolts over here, 3 bolts over there. You got to take the drive shaft off. You got to, I think this linkage, it comes off with a pin. And then the brake linkage you have to take off. I think that, for the most part, is it when it comes to getting the axle out, which isn't that hard. I'm not sure if I updated you guys or not. A friend of mine has a Sunstrand 15U that he said he would sell me. So we're going to go on ahead and get this one taken out. And also another friend of mine gave me a suggestion. He said to pull the relief valves out of it and see if it turns any easier. I drained all the fluid out of it. The Pump still turns fairly stiff, so we're just going to go on ahead and take it off there, and we're going to see if we can figure out what is going on. If we can't, we're going to go on ahead and just swap out that pump with a different one, and I don't know, see if we can get this thing working right. Maybe we'll take this pump apart in the future and see what failed and if we can rebuild it. So yeah, there you go. Let's go on ahead and let's get this pump, or let's get this axle taken out. I'll probably film it once I'm done putting the bolts back in that hold everything else together. I know you're all asking it. Let's just go on ahead and get the question out of the way. What the fuck did you do with that Cub Cadet? Well, here's what I did. All the fluids are drained out of it. There's no engine in it. So I went ahead and I tipped it over on its side. That way I could get under it easier, since we can't get any access to the top of it. Here's what my plan is. I want to unhook the drive shaft as well as everything else under here that needs to be unhooked in order to drop this transmission and get it out of here. So that's what we're going to do. So the first thing I want to do is get that drive shaft unhooked. You're all probably. I mean, this is the way to do it, you know? I mean, if you can't get to it from the top, you got to get to it from the bottom. I don't feel like laying on my back, so we're just going to do it this way. Let's go on ahead and let's get those back bolts undone. And there's no fluid in it at the moment, so I mean, there's really no reason to be afraid of anything leaking or getting ruined. So this is what we're going to do. Let me grab another wrench. Okay, so here's what we are looking at. This in here wobbles. Let me see if I can turn the flashlight on the phone. What's that? Is that better? It's better for me. This wobbles. You can see. So there's a problem. This is our drive linkage right here. We got to unhook. We might not even need to. No. Yeah, we gotta unhook it because it doesn't. It goes up there, but not like I thought it did. Can we get this to turn on? Hang on, guys. I know my head's in the way of the camera. Don't worry, I can't see either. I'm trying to get an idea as to if that up top moves or not, or if it's just this down here. I also wish there was a hole right there somewhere. Let's find out. Is there a nut? Nut up here, whatever it is, it's turning. Yeah, I need to get up here and stop it from turning. I was afraid of that. Okay. There we go. That's probably too big. I wonder what size. Probably. That might even be a half inch, actually. I thought I had a half inch over here. Maybe not. Let's see if this will do it. Yep, you'll grab it. Okay. So let's get him in here. Which way loose are these? I think this way. I thought so. You know, I like these Cubs. They're awesome machines. One thing I don't like is how hard it is to get to things under here. They should have put more access panels, you know? I'll bet you I'm going to get a message in the comments saying, you don't have to do that, you can just slide it off up top. That's why that panel's right there that is removable, which would make sense to me, but I didn't know that at this time, so there you go. And I think after we drop these, we just take the 3 bolts out of the frame and the axle should drop out. We might actually have, yeah, we gotta take these out too, probably. Now this would be easier if we just pop the ball joint out. Well, that's what it is. I'm tired of. Is that actually up here? Yes, it is. Sorry, guys. I'm in your way, I know. So I wonder if, since we have to take those bolts off up top, the 2 in the frame that go into the axle housing, I wonder if we're just going to go on ahead and pull that axle off, or that housing for the spindle off, and look at it and see how it looks and if the bearing's in there again. But how would you take that off? It would probably be, I think if I remember, there's a set screw in the hub. I wonder if those are adjustable. If you turn that nut in there, you can adjust that spindle in and out. Or the hub in and out, I mean. I wonder if that's how that is. Maybe. We might have to look into that. I bet you I'm turning this. Yep, I figured it was. Okay. That's not quite loose enough yet to do exactly what I was hoping to do, but oh well. So, we're getting close. Oh shit, I just got my arm all grease. Damn it. Guess I'm wearing one of my nice coats. Shouldn't have wore a coat. It's actually not too bad outside today. I don't know what the temperature is, however, it don't feel too bad. I'd open the doors, but it's nighttime right now, and I really don't want anybody coming into the shop. Hold on a second. Let's get this right here wiped off. This is where I touched it and got my arm all covered in grease. see if we can get this out of here now. Now that hopefully I think we should be most of the way through this. Not when it comes to the threads. I think all we should need is maybe 1 or 2 turns before it comes out, right? No, it's still not able to turn. Oh, I wish I could just get a socket on the top bolt nut and get this to come out of here. I really do. There we go. I might be able to get it. Yep, sure enough. There we go. Now I can get it to hopefully come loose. It's just in such a rough spot. There we go. Got it. So now we'll just let this linkage dangle around. All right, so now that we've got that off, this is unhooked. The drive shaft is unhooked. We got to get this. This probably doesn't come off. There's no hydraulic lines or anything to come off that axle. Nope. No lines. Just the line that goes to the pump from the axle. That's that. Cool. Okay, so what do we need to do in order to get this pump out? I don't see anything over here. I think everything's just on that side. That nut or that bolt needs to come out. That bolt, and that bolt over there. Same on the other side. So now that we know what all needs done, I think that one is a half-inch, correct? I think. That one right there, I think it's a 1/2 inch, yeah. So we need a 1/2 inch socket. Let's see if we can get this one loose. There we go. There we go. And then once we get this bolt off of here, there we go. And then we'll just go under here and take this guy out. And once we get him out of here, we can go on ahead, put the tractor back up. We probably don't want to take the wheels off. We could probably just leave the wheels on and be fine. Brush guard off and set it off to the side. I think I want to pull this off and I want to check the fitting as well as put some tape around it, maybe an O-ring. Maybe not. Maybe we'll leave it on. I do remember seeing leaks from under here though before, so that might be something I want to do. And then just these 3 up on top. We'll just go on ahead and get them loose. And then once we get them loose, we can go on ahead and drop the axle. drop the tractor back on its wheels since we got everything underneath of it done. Let's just go on ahead and do that. Actually, I really don't need it up like this anymore. Everything that needs to come out of it has come out of it. Let's see if we can get this thing back on all 4 wheels. How hard is that going to be? We gotta move things. We should be able to go on ahead and lower it now. The most part is out of my way. Cool. I heard stuff fall. That's just what you want to hear. Let's get these 6 bolts out, and then we'll get those 6 bolts out. And then, yeah, after that, it shouldn't be too hard to drop the axle, right? I would think. Oh, this one's already loose. I need a can or something to put these bolts in. I don't have one. Here we go. Oh, look at that. We do have one. Good news, we have a pan now. We can put all these bolts in that I've acquired from doing this. There we go. Normally I go over and I chase threads. These 2, I don't think I'm going to because they go into the axle. And I really don't want to get chips into the axle or dirt for that matter. And the pump. So, okay. We are just going to throw it like this. Yeah, that goes in fairly far.
easy days.
Maybe while we're over here looking at it, we can better. I bring you guys over here. We got some fluid pissing out back still. Let's get these relief valves out. And once we get them out, we can go ahead and see how things look. This is, I was gonna say, this is tight. They still go up and down like they should, so I mean, they seem okay. They look good. Really nothing wrong with them. This is a clean environment, I promise. If we're gonna, yeah, it still turns fairly rough, even without the one. Get this to come loose without damaging it. I wonder if this is the original axle to this machine. Yeah, it turns just about the same. Yeah, it turns just about the same as it did before we took the valves out. So it's not them. I'll have to let him know that's not it. Wait, this one went over there. This is on the wrong side. This one goes, it doesn't matter which side you put them on, but I just want them in the right one. That way I remember. That one goes there. This one goes over here. So I wonder, well, there's two extra valves. I wonder if we have an issue. Maybe a bearing in here is bad. Yeah, this should turn a lot easier than that. See how loose that is? Maybe we need to put a bolt in there instead. Do you think I'm going to be able to carry this and put it up on the bench? How heavy is this, actually? Maybe without the wheels. Oh no, maybe. No, I'm gonna blow my back out picking that up. That's fairly heavy. So I don't want to drop it either. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We know what we need. We need a new pump. How hard is it going to be to get that pump off? Probably, it shouldn't be too hard, I wouldn't think. You know, I wouldn't think it would be that difficult to pull the pump. It should be just, I think 4 bolts. I think 2 or 4 bolts hold it on there. Some even number. Let's just take this, tip it back, and let's see what fluid comes out of it. Oh yeah, look at that. Fluid's coming out. I'm going to go on ahead and say that one doesn't hold it. Oh, those hold this. Probably these 4. Yeah. Those 4 are probably what hold the, oh, there's a grease fitting right there. These 4 are probably what hold it to the differential, pumpkin, whatever you want to call it. So let's just take it like that. Let's stick our jack underneath like so. And let's see if we can get this pump to come off. I think I want to loosen underneath of here, because why not? Yep, there we go. Or we could just leave that alone and just take it off right there. Nah, this is part of it. Let's just take this off too. I gotta probably put some Teflon on here eventually, you know. I think this goes fairly deep into the pumpkin, if I remember right. I know it goes in fairly far, looking at it from inside. I got some brand new, not used ATF if anybody wants it. What's the price of ATF new? I'm gonna times that by 6. And that's what I'll sell it for. Doesn't that sound like somebody you guys might know on YouTube? 'Cause I know exactly who that sounds like. There we go. So many things for absolutely outrageous prices, especially when they don't run. So let's get a 9/16. I'm gonna go on and guess those are 9/16 because they probably are. Oh, you guys didn't even see what I just did. You didn't tell me. Should have told me you guys didn't see it. Let's get the pump pulled. And after we get the pump pulled, we will go on ahead and we'll do something. How's that? I know on the Dana rear ends, the Dana 20 rear ends, there is a thing on the back. There are some things, there are nuts on the back of it that hold the pumpkin to the pump. I don't know if that's how it is on here or not. I don't think it is. It might or may not be. But we'll find out here in a second. We might have to take that plate off the back of the pump. Or the back of that one with 4 9/16 holding it. Well, oh, full charge. Okay, we got a full battery. I didn't see that sitting there. Okay, right here. There is one that I'm not going to be able to get onto with this. That's loosening. I do not think that this is going to have the balls. Yeah, this thing's not going to do it. We're probably going to need a different socket too, because that one doesn't really seem like it wants to grab all that right. I know we don't need it, but we might need it. So I grabbed it. Okay, can we not get on this? What does it entail? I might have to take this off. Why do you, no you don't, because that, oh, interesting. We may have to take this off in order to, there we go, that'll run it. I was gonna say, why would we have to take that off? There we go, that came loose. How much you wanna bet there's nuts on the other side of this that I can't get to? There we go. There we go. One more, which we are maybe gonna be able to get to. Got it. Okay, cool. I told you I'd be able to get to them, but you didn't believe me, now did you? So now we can puncture it, like so. Just what I thought. No nuts. So now we just need to get the other ones. Has a really strong ATF smell now for whatever reason. I wonder why. I need to get a new. One of these days, I would like to get another impact, all except for this one has a socket end. Instead of this one that keeps popping off. That is next on my list of things that I plan to get. There we go. Oh. Does this come off easily, or I thought it let go? I was gonna say, wow, that came off very easy, but apparently not. Okay, so what does it entail? What else do we have to remove? I don't think there is anything else. It should just be those four, maybe those two. No, those just go right there. Actually, yep, there's one that we need to remove. Yeah, that one goes to the housing. That's what I thought. I kind of figured there was probably going to be one more, and it was probably going to be up here. Awesome. I don't know if this one, that one I don't think it does. I think that one just goes there. Okay. So maybe that one, which does not appear. Nope. Does this need to come off? How would that come off? Actually, you would probably just take this bolt out here, wouldn't you? Yeah. That's probably exactly what that does. All right. I'll bet you that probably wasn't a holder. Yep. Like I thought. That's what did it. All right. Actually, maybe it was. So, is there another one? Oh, there is. Look at that. Man, we just keep finding them, don't we? We probably are going to end up having to take this hose off completely in order to get... Yeah, let's just go on ahead and take it off up here, too. We're probably going to do whether we want to or not. It'll probably uncover more bolts. We could give it one final. Actually, now it's turning easier than it did. But we're already into it this far. Yeah. Is it really turning easier? No. Maybe. Oh boy. We're into it this far. Nope. It still doesn't turn as easy as that one does, so I don't think it's turning much easier, honestly. It might be a little bit, but not really, in my opinion. If it's enough to stall out an engine, then, or not let it start, you know, then we've definitely got an issue at hand right now. Maybe I should move my head, that way my mouth doesn't get knocked out by, I don't want to miss some, I don't want my teeth to go missing due to a wrench. I think we are out. Aren't we? Are we? Maybe? Yes? No? Possibly we are out. Yes. Let's get... Probably now we'll crank on this with a pry bar and we can get it to come out, right? There we go. Yeah, exactly what I thought. Can we get it out? Do we want to leave this pipe on here, or do we want it to come off? We probably just want it to come off. Well, it's held on by this apparently, so we gotta take out a bolt that I apparently missed. It's a 1/2 inch, yes. No, that's a 7/16. Okay. I think that's a 7/16. Yeah, that's turning. So we need to throw a 1/2 inch or another wrench onto it, like so. There we go. That should bring it out. Out. Did we loosen it? Or is it still? I wonder if we even need to take this out of here completely. There we go. I wonder if this will turn out. Turn out. There we go. So now, there we go, we got it. Okay, throw that off to the side. We don't need it for now. We got one there. We got one here. Oh, we might be able to get this one with a wrench, actually, because I really don't want to take this off if I don't have to. Oh, and there's, yeah, the more I look into it, the more I find there's another bolt right there that probably doesn't hold this, but we can take it out anyway too, since we're already removing these guys. You know, there we go. Just tried to fall backwards on me. I don't know where exactly. Actually, the shaft is somewhere around here, so I think right here would be, around here would be the gasket, right? Yeah, this bolt wouldn't be a part of it. It would be those ones over there. Yeah, that one, this one, and that one are inside the gasket for the shaft that goes into the pumpkin. These ones on the outside are more or less, I guess, just here. Makes sense. I wonder if there's any out here that need to be, any others that need to be removed. I think we found, yeah, well, there's one right there. This side, I think, is pretty much ready to come off. I think this is the last bolt that we need to address. And I think once we get, come on. I think once we get this one, come on. Okay, there we go. Once we get this one off, we should be all set. Oh boy, there's one right there. Oh great, is there one over here? No. Why did you guys put so many bolts in here to take off? That's a, is that a bolt or is that a nut? That's a bolt, okay. It was hard to tell because the center of it didn't look like it was turning. Although it's fairly packed in dirt. There's a bolt right there, but I don't think that it, no, that's further up. Let's see if we can get this thing to go now. Oh, look at that. We got it. Nice. Okay. Can we get it to go that way? Actually, on second thought, I almost lost my foot. Wow, I got lucky. I'm only an inch away from that. Okay, well, it's nice to know that I still have a foot. That would hurt. Okay, so now that we have this off, this turns. Yeah, that still turns fairly rough. Okay, so, nice. So that's all done and took care of. Okay. There's no fluid in here anymore. Now it feels like it's easier to turn. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Yeah, now it turns easy. Actually, no. It might be just my head playing tricks. Let's take this thing over to the bench and let's get it pulled apart. So now we have this hydro sitting over here, this sun strand. Let's see what all bolts. This one, that one, held it. Interesting. I do not see. I wonder if, oh, there it is. That's what held it. So this is all that held it? Really? Huh. Okay. That's the gasket. Well, then what the hell did we remove? You know, I have one of these sitting around out here somewhere. We took this one out, this one out, that one and that. I'll bet you we just took, oh, okay, I know what we did. We must have took the ones out. I took all the, that means we separated this, no, wait a second. That one, that one, that one, and that one. Those hold the pump together. Okay, I know what we did. And then this one right here, that one probably holds the pump together too. So I'm going to go on ahead and put those ones back in because I really didn't want to separate the pump. Actually, you know what? Yeah, that still turns. That's hard. That's still fairly hard to turn. Yeah, to be completely honest with you, that's still fairly hard to turn compared to this guy on here. Yeah, I can turn him with my pinky or my finger. See? Once you get it going, it's not too bad. This one, no, you can't turn that one easily with a finger. Here's a differential plate. Ignore it. It's not here. It's not here now. So let's see. What do we want to do first to this prisoner? I think what I'm going to do is I might go on ahead and end the video here. And in the next video, we can go on ahead and get the new charge pump. It might be a little while before I have that. I told him I'm not really in much of a rush. If, he can get out here sometime soon, though, that would be great. So we're just going to go on ahead and call it here. So, guys, I want to thank all you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If this is your first time checking out my channel, please consider going down below, hitting that subscribe button. It didn't cost you guys a thing. It tells YouTube that I make good videos and that you guys want to see more. It also tells myself that. So with that being said, I want to thank all you guys for watching. I hope I see all of you in the next video. If you're new to the channel, like I said before, please consider running down below, hitting that subscribe button. It doesn't cost you a thing, and you get to see more stuff like this, and you get to see me continue on with this tractor. So at the moment, we are split up into a few pieces. So if I decided I wanted to part this out, I could. I know somebody is going to ask me, if you have been around the channel for a while, you remember the 312, as well as the 317 that I used to have. I parted out. I have an extra transmission for a Sunstrand 15U pump. I know somebody is going to ask me, John, why don't you just use the Sunstrand 15U that came off of your 312? Well, let me answer you guys' question. You're probably wondering what room this is in the shop. I have found a place for my transmissions. This little room over here. Finally found a use for it instead of just sitting here empty. In here, you can see my hoard. I have this one. I know someone's going to say something about it. The reason that I don't use it is because it has a bad seal. 2 seals in it need to be changed. Also, right here, I have these I would need to cap off, which actually probably wouldn't be too hard. As well as this pump has a bad seal right here. And this has the wrong thing on it for the Cubs. So there you go. That's why I'm not using this hydro pump. That's why I'm using the one off that. However, a future project coming to the channel, I don't know if it's on the channel yet, so I'm not going to spill it, might end up using that transmission. More than likely, it's going to be using the differential because it needs one. Maybe. If I can fix it. It won't need it if I can fix or keep that rear end fixed. I've already fixed it once, so hopefully I can keep that rear end fixed and I won't have to deal with it again. But if I can't, well, then we'll just go on ahead and swap that differential. And I'm not sure what tractor it is, but I'm sure we'll find out here in the future. All right, guys, I'm rambling at this point. I will catch all of you in the next video. Take care, guys. Bye.